Good day, students. Today is the lecture number 6, Syntactical Means to Enhance the Expressiveness of Speech. The types of repetition on the syntactical level. Repetition of an abstract syntactical position. This is observed in any sentence comprising two or more homogeneous parts which relate syntactically but not semantically. Synonymic repetition. Repetition of an abstract syntactical position involving the usage of synonyms. The homogeneous parts relate syntactically and semantically. Repetition of the same element, word or phrase, within the sentence is typical for colloquial speech and concerns mostly qualifying adverbs and adjectives, such as forever and ever, very, very good, etc. Parallelism involves a repetition of identical syntactical constructions and contributes to rhymic and melodic unification of adjacent sentences. It serves either to emphasize the repeated element or to create a contrast or underlines the semantic connection between sentences. Parallel constructions are based on the repetition of the whole syntactical structure of several successiveness of the sentence. Parallel constructions may be viewed as purely syntactically type of repetition, for here we deal with the reiteration of the structure of several successive sentences and not of their lexical flesh. True enough, parallel constructions almost always include some type of lexical repetition too, and such conversions produces a very strong effect for grounding at one to logical, rhymic, emotive, and expressive aspects of the utterance. The necessary condition in parallel constructions is identical or similar structure in two or more sentences or parts of a sentence. Parallel constructions are often baked up by repetition of words, lexical repetition, and conjunctions and prepositions, polysyndeton. Polysyndeton is the use of conjunction between each word, phrase, or clause, and it does structurally the opposite of asyndeton. The rhetorical effect of polysyndeton, however, often shares with that of asyndeton a feeling of multiplicity, energetic, enumeration, and building up. Polysyndeton is a repeated use of conjunctions, is so stressing the idea of equal logical, emotive importance of connected sentences. For example, by the time he had got all the bottles and dishes and knives and forks and glasses and plates and spoons and things piled up on big trays, he was getting very hot and red in the face and annoyed. By Tolkien. Parallel constructions can be partial and incomplete. Partial parallel arrangement is the repetition of same arts of successive sentences or clauses. Complete parallel arrangement, also called balance, maintains the principal or identical structures throughout the corresponding sentences. There are two main functions of parallel constructions. Semantic, suggest equal semantic significance of the component parts, and structural, rhymical design to these component parts. Reversed parallelism is called chiasmus. The second part of chiasmus is in fact inversion of the first construction. Thus, if the sentence clause has a direct word order, the second one will have it inverted. Like parallel constructions, chiasmus contributes the rhymical quantity of the utterance, and the pause caused by the change in the syntactical pattern may be likened to in prosody. The types of repetition on the lexico-syntactical level. The first is anaphoron. Its identity of initial parts of two or more autonomous syntactical segments, verse lines, stanzas, paragraphs, etc. Adjacent or at a distance in the text, yet obviously connected semantically. Epiphora. As opposed, an anaphora implies recurrence of one or several elements, including two or more syntactical units. Framing gaps. The term is used to denote the recurrence of the initial segment at the very end of a syntactic unit, by which a kind of frame is formed with the help of recurring words. Anadiplosis. Greek doubling. The final element of a syntactical unit reappears at the very beginning of the succeeding unit. The concluding part of the preceding unit serves the starting point of the next. It repeats the last word on the phrase, clause, or sentence, and or very near beginning in the text. It can be generated in series for the sake of beauty or to give a sense of logical progression. Chain repetition presents several successive anadiploses. The effect is that of the smoothly developing reasoning. Ordinary repetition has no definite place in the sentence, and the repeated unit occurs in various positions. Ordinary repetition emphasizes both the logical and the emotional meanings of the reiterated unit. Successive repetition is a string of closely following each other reiterated units. This is the most emphatic types of repetition. It signifies the peak of the speaker's, writer's emotions. Synonym repetition. The repetition of the same idea by using synonymous words and phrases which, by adding slightly different nuance of meaning, it intensifies the impact of the utterance. There are two terms frequently used to show the negative attitude of the critic to all kinds of synonym repetition. Pleonasms, the use of words in a sentence than necessary to express the meaning. Redundancy of expression, or tautology, defined as the repetition of the same statement, the repetition of the same word or phrase or the same idea or statement in the other words, usually as a fault of style. Climax, gradation of emphatic growing in strength in Greek means ladder, consists of arranging words, clauses, or sentences in the order of increasing importance, weight, or emphasis. For example, what differences if it rained, hailed blue, snowed, cyclone? Anticlimax, backgradation. Instead of a few elements growing to intensity without relief, there unexpectedly appears a weak or contrastive element that makes a statement humorous or ridiculous. For example, the woman who could face the very devil himself, or a mouse goes all to pieces in front of a flash of lightning. Thank you for your attention. This is the end of lecture number 6.